Good morning, everyone. I am Teacher Jarrett. And this week we are talking about how animals help each other, right? Last week we talked about animal traits, and we learned how some animals can fly and some little animals can help bigger animals, right? So this week we are going to learn how some animals can help other animals. It's like a team. They have two animals who form a team to help each other. Okay? So, the genre of the story today is nonfiction. So that means it's real, right? We're going to see real pictures about real things. And our essential question is, how do animals help each other? Read about unusual animal partners. Ooh, okay. Let's go to the next page. Animal Teams by Rachel Mann. Okay. Can a small bird help a big giraffe? Can a shrimp help a fish? Yes, they can. So remember, we learned the word small. Small means tiny, not having a very big size. Okay? So we can see a bird on the giraffe. And if we go down, we can see a shrimp and a fish together, right? These may seem like odd friends, but many animals work together in teams. These animals help each other in lots of ways. Let's find out how. So remember, we learned the word for other, right? The word for other is something that's not you, right? So you are yourself, and then there can be another person or other people, right? So they help each other means that this person helps the other person, and this person helps the other person. Or fish helps the shrimp helps the fish. Some birds live off the backs of big animals. Why do the animals let the birds stay? The birds help. They eat bugs off the animal's skin. So here's an antelope, and here are the birds who are living on the antelope. And if there's little bugs that try to live on the antelope, these birds will eat them. The big animals help the birds too. They keep the birds safe. And it is a good deal for them because they have lots of sweet bugs to eat. So we learned the word because, right? That shows the cause and effect. So it is a good deal. And you can say, why is it a good deal? It is a good deal because they have lots of sweet bugs to eat. Okay? So the birds keep the bugs off the animal, and the animal keeps the birds safe. Okay, now let's look at another team. The goby fish and the blind shrimp make a good team. The shrimp can't see, so the goby helps. The goby looks out for danger, and the shrimp stays close. When the goby flicks its tail, it means that it is time to hide. So remember, we talked about danger, right? Danger means something that can make you get hurt or it can cause harm, right? So when they look out for danger, danger may be a bigger fish that will eat them, right? So that would be dangerous because they would get hurt. So these two are a team. The shrimp helps the goby too. It will go into a hole to hide. It lets the goby hide here too. The shrimp and the goby hide until it is safe to go out. And here's the word into. Remember, we learned that word. That means to go inside of, okay? Or to go in. Okay, so they're a good team. Let's look at the next page. Zebras and wildebeests live on the hot plains. They both like to eat grass all day. These animals are seen together a lot. But why? They stay together because they can help each other find fresh grass to eat. They also help each other keep safe. If a zebra or a wildebeest spots danger, it runs. This tells the rest to run too. So remember, we learned the word or. That means one of two, right? Or one of three, or one of many. So you can say zebra or wildebeest. Okay? So there's both zebra and wildebeest together. But only one, either a zebra or a wildebeest, has to see danger, and they both start running. Right? Okay. So they all run together. When one zebra or one wildebeest starts to run, all of the animals start running. Here's another team. Many fish want to eat the little clownfish. It needs a safe home, so it lives in a sea anemone. The clownfish is safe because most fish stay away. Why? The sea anemone stings, so it goes, ow! But the clownfish cannot feel its sting. Wow. The clownfish helps its partner too. It swims in and out, in and out. It chases away big fish that could hurt its pal. So partner is like teammate, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's go to the next page. A caterpillar needs to be safe so that it can grow. Who will help? Ants will. Ants see the caterpillar and take it to a safe place. Why do ants do this? The caterpillar has a sweet liquid on its skin. The ants like the taste. Soon the caterpillar will be a pretty blue butterfly. And remember, we learned the color blue is right here. See? Blue. Okay. So let's see another team. When a little cleaner fish wants to eat, it looks for bigger fish to clean. Why? It gets a free meal when it cleans. A cleaner fish eats the pests off of other fish. So maybe there's little bugs or little sea creatures on the fish. This cleaner fish just eats all those little bugs. So it makes the fish happy. The big fish want to be cleaned. They line up and wait for the cleaner fish to get to them. See, all of these fish are waiting because they want the cleaner fish to eat all the pests off of their scales. Ooh, here's another team. One is big and one is small, but the two are a team. When animals team up, they do what is best for both of them. So you can see here's a bird that's really small on top of the rhinoceros, right? And the bird is just looking out for danger. And the rhinoceros can run very fast and is very big. So it can scare away a lot of other animals, right? Yeah. Okay. So now let's go to our next page. Great, we get to meet the author. Rachel Mann loves learning about animals, especially animals who act in unexpected ways. She really enjoyed researching and writing Animal Teams because she learned that animals help and need each other just as people do. So when we are people, when we need help, we go to other people in the community, right? Some people are librarians or some people bake cakes, or some people sell meat, or some people sell vegetables, or some people help us cross the street, right? And so people are a lot like animals because we can help each other too. Not everyone knows how to bake bread or bake cakes, right? And so that's why when I don't know how to bake a cake, I go to that person and I buy a cake from them. So they sell me the cake, and then I give them money, right? Because I buy the cake from them. So let's look at the author's purpose. Author's purpose. Rachel Mann wanted to write about animals who do interesting things. Write about an animal that does something you find interesting. We can talk about cats, because cats clean themselves, right? We can talk about parrots, because parrots can talk, right? They can repeat the things that you tell them. So you can take some time today and write out a little story, maybe 2 sentences or 3 sentences in English, to talk about an animal that you like, or an animal that does something that's very interesting. Okay? Now let's go to the next page. Yay! We get to respond to reading now. Okay. So today, last week we did a first, next, then last retell chart, right? But today we are going to do a main idea and a detail chart. So the main idea is here, and then the details can go here. We don't have enough room to make it exactly the way the other one is made, but it's close. So we'll get our arrows out. So here's 1, here's 2, second main idea, and here's the third main idea, right? Okay, so the first box we need to fill out is the main idea box. So what is the main idea? The main idea is that animals help each other, right? So we saw in this story that every page talked about how animals help each other, right? Yeah. So there were a lot of different types of teams that we saw, right? But we can give some details that can cover all of the different animal teams, right? So one type of team is when the big animal protects the little animal and the little animal cleans, right? So let's make this a little bigger. So that's one example, right? Let's do this. Okay. So that is one type of team, right? We saw here the big animal protects the little animal and the little animal cleans, right? So another type of team so we can say another team Another type of team is when the two animals each other, right? The two animals protect each other. So here, the big animal protects and the little animal cleans. But for the shrimp and the goby, the two animals protect each other, right? Because the goby tells the shrimp when there's danger, and then the shrimp helps the goby find a hole to hide in, right? So we can also see that, let's look here, for the clownfish, right? The clownfish is protected by the sea anemone. And the sea anemone is, and then the clownfish also protects the sea anemone by chasing away some types of fish, right? Yeah. And here is one more type of team, right? Another type of team is when one animal protects, one animal keeps, is when two small animals work together. One keeps the other safe, and then they So here's another type, right? So when two small animals work together, so this ant and this caterpillar are both very small, but the ants will move the caterpillar to a safe spot, and then they will lick the skin because the skin is sweet. They don't bite, they don't go and hurt the caterpillar, they just lick it. And then they feel happy. Oh, and here's another example of our first team, right? The little animal eats and cleans the bigger animal. Okay, so those are some details that support our main idea. So now let's answer some questions. Okay, answer questions. Okay. One, what is the main idea of the story Animal Teams? So we already answered this question, right? The main idea is that animals help each other. Main idea is that animals help each other sometimes. Now, they don't always help each other, right? Sometimes animals eat other animals, but sometimes they help each other. So this story was telling us about the teams that animals can make to help each other. So now, let's do our second question. Why do some birds sit on the backs of big animals? So the answer to that question right here, when a big animal protects the little animal and the little animal cleans. So some birds sit on big animals. Animals protect them and the birds get to eat. All right? Okay, now we have one more question, but I'm going to erase this part so we can answer our question. Okay? Okay. Okay. Let's make this big. Oh, move this over here. Now we go to question 3. How can you tell that animal teams Okay, how can you tell animal teams is nonfiction? So we can tell the story is nonfiction because it's about real animal teams and it has real photographs. Right? So we can tell it's nonfiction because it is about real animal teams and it has real photographs, right? Yeah, great. So now we have our make connections section. What animals have you seen together? How did they help each other? Well, sometimes you see 2 dogs together, right? Because the dogs live together and they help each other by keeping each other company, right? So they feel happy. Otherwise, I don't know what other animals stay together. Maybe you can pay attention this week and then we can talk, and then you can talk about it with your mother and your father, okay? So keep looking this week to find animals that live together or work together or are a team, okay? Okay, now let's erase this and go to the next story. Genre, nonfiction. Compare texts. Read about how bees work as a team. So the title of the story is Busy as a Bee. That's a phrase that people in America use because bees always look like they're flying around and working. So if you're busy as a bee, it means you are always working very hard. Okay? So bees are at home in a hive. All of them have jobs that help the hive. Bees can make a hive in a tree. See, here's the tree, and here's their hive. Lots of worker bees help make honey. They help keep the hive clean too. So worker, remember we learned worker, that means someone who does a job, right? And honey is a sweet liquid that bees make, okay? So worker bees make wax cups called honeycombs. So we can see here's all the worker bees working. They're very busy, right? They're all doing something. This worker bee is in a hole making the honeycomb. Every hive has a queen bee. She lays all the eggs. A hive has drone bees too. A drone's job is to help the queen make eggs. A queen bee is with her drones in the hive. So remember, we learned the word queen, right? The word queen is the woman ruler, right? So you have a king, who's the man ruler. You have the queen, who is the woman ruler, right? So the queen lays all the eggs. So every bee comes from this queen bee, right? And the drones help the queen make the eggs. So they are always next to her, helping her do whatever she needs so she can make more eggs. Okay. And here's our last page for the day. New bees hatch from these eggs. Worker bees feed them. A big hive is a busy place. The queen lays eggs inside wax cups. So the eggs are laid in the honeycomb. And then here's a little egg. And then the bee is born out of the egg and gets fed by the worker bees, right? Yeah. So, like it says, a big hive is a busy place. You can see all these bees always working, right? Yep. So now it's our make connections time. How are the bees like the animals in animal teams? And so the bees are kind of like the animals in animal teams the same way that humans are like animals in animal teams, right? So the bees are all the same species, right? It's all the same animal, a bee. But every bee has a special job, right? So there's one bee that lays the eggs. So the one bee lays the eggs so that those eggs can hatch and make other bees who can go out and get more food. Then you have the worker bee who goes and gets honey and who helps build the hive. And you have drone bees who help the queen make the eggs. So the beehive is really like a big team, right? But all of the animals on the team are the same bee. They just have different jobs. Okay? So that is all we have for our lesson for today. We learned so much about how animals can help each other, and it's your job to look around this week at other animals to see them helping each other, okay? Okay, so now it's time to say bye-bye, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.